All my life, I've loved old things. Items that have a story, that have a past. There's something about it that inspires me, and being a photographer and a cinematographer, I obviously love old cameras, but who doesn't? Every hipster and their mom has an old camera on a shelf somewhere, and they may not have ever even pursued photography. There's something inherently special about antique cameras. For me, it's seeing where photography has come from and being fascinated at how fast and how far photo and video have come. So this is a new series I'm going to start where I take cameras and kind of take a little peek into the history of my passion. I'm going to keep collecting cameras, and every time I get a new one, I'm going to do an episode. I have a few cameras, as you saw in the B-roll, that I'm going to highlight in the first few episodes. So stick around if you want to see those. But today, I'm going to be talking about the Kodak Box Brownie, or Brownie Bullseye, not Kodak Bullseye Brownie. Now, I just picked up this camera not too long ago from a used kind of thrift store, kind of antique store, and it kind of kicked off this whole series idea. I have multiple other old cameras, and I figured why not highlight them and talk about them and their history, where they came from, where they were made, when they were made, all that good stuff. So I'm going to start off the first episode with the camera that kicked off the inspiration for this series. This camera was in production between 1954 and 1960. It was designed by Arthur H. Crapsey. A shitty name, but he didn't let that get in the way of his beautiful camera designs. He actually designed several of Kodak's cameras, and I hope to one day own them all. These cameras came in two different editions, black and gold, which is more like a bronze, which is the one I have that you're seeing now, and had sick black controls. The black edition cost about $13 back then, and the gold was about $15. In today's monies, that would be $124 for the black and $143 for the gold. You may be wondering what makes the gold better than the black, and that would be a good question because I could not find it anywhere. As far as I could tell, this is purely a new look that came out in 58, that's 1958, and was sold through 1960. Maybe it was like a marketing stunt to sell more of this design before moving on to new cameras, who knows? Well, if you do, I would love to know. Tell me in the comments, you bastard. Originally, it came in a kit with the Midget Kodalite flash gun, but could accept other Kodalite flashes, making it fairly robust and user-friendly for an amateur camera. The body is made out of a thick Bakelite material and makes it fairly heavy, so you could probably kill a few baby seals with this thing before it ever break. For those of you who don't know what Bakelite is, shame on you. No, it is a thermosetting resin. This was used from around 1930 to 1960s, and it was an easy way to make molds to cast lots of things from toasters to radios and also lots of cameras back then. This camera shot on 620 film and took 6cm by 9cm exposures. That's comparatively bigger than its predecessors that normally shot on 6cm by 6cm exposures. Now, because of the big exposure size, it only shot 8 shots per roll, so you needed a lot of rolls or needed to be really good at taking photos. Unlike today, where you can have like thousands and thousands of photos on a single memory card. Anyway, the lens is a Twindar 2-element periscopic lens with zone focusing. This made it way easier to get sharper images at a close range. The range being from around 4 feet to infinity. Periscopic lenses have been used in many other lenses leading up to this point, and it wasn't anything really new. Now, if you haven't heard of a periscopic lens, shame on you. No, it's a periscopic lens is a symmetrical lens that has 2 convex meniscus elements with the aperture between them. This layout has advantages because it reduced the chromatic aberration of the image distortion, and many other problems with a single element lens. So I just wanted to go over a few things that I just found absolutely fascinating by this little camera. One being, as I'm sure you saw in the B-roll, I just love this patina. Like, someone taped this so that it wouldn't open on them randomly. So this is how you open it. Look at that. Woo! And it actually came with, let's see if it will focus here for a second. Where are you? There you go. So it actually came with a roll of film that was already overexposed when I found it, unfortunately, so we'll never know what's on there. But it's cool that it's there. But that's what it shot in. Basically, the camera obscura that you've seen a million times before, and it shot against the film that just kind of went right across this whole deal. So yeah, that was one thing I found really cool, is just that it obviously has been used. Like, it's been around the block a few times, and it's full of all sorts of scrapes and scuffs, and I don't know, it's something about that I like more than having like a pristine camera. Now, one of the other things I really enjoy is the kind of 1950s look with these nice like fluting down the sides. See if it'll focus. There we go, the fluting down the sides and these kind of rounded edges. It's just very like, I don't know, it just has a nice feel to it. Now the cool thing is that it has this little viewfinder here, and the coolest thing, you probably saw in the B-roll, but if you notice, there's this little tiny front piece that has this little lightning bolt, this red lightning bolt in front of it. And that was purely, so this is how you wind the film. And you'll see it retract there. You hit the click, ready? So once it clicked, that's how you knew you're on the next roll, so you don't double exposure any of your film. Now this is the shutter button too, which is kind of a crazy, there we go, shutter button right here, which is kind of a crazy design to have it on the side here, but it's just kind of a cool, natural way to throw it up to your eye and snap a photo. But watch what happens when I take a photo, ready? See that lightning bolt come back in? Now I can't actually press this anymore. So that literally stops you, and in their manual, which I'll link below, it actually tells you that the camera is thinking for itself. It makes it so you can't actually double expose, and that was one of the ways you can do it. Now there were ways you could accidentally double expose still, but once you wind that up, you hear the click, and the lightning bolt's gone. Freaking focus, there you go. Lightning bolt's gone, you can take another photo. And lightning bolt's back, and it locks off. I thought that was really cool. Just a very simple way to ensure quality control on their photography. Now this actually came with a few different ways to focus. Now we still have problems with focusing. So if you notice on the bottom here, it has a few different ways, or like areas that you should be in for certain focuses. And you notice this little tiny, let's see, see that little stick there that's pointing like 8 and 10. So depending on what you're shooting, it kind of told you where your focus should be. And on the 10, you'll feel there's a little click and it'll hold in place, which kind of lets you feel out the focus while you're looking through the viewfinder here. And I thought that was also a really cool little touch. And then for exposure, they have instant and long, and you just switch between those depending on how long you needed to expose for, which I thought was also really cool. But yeah, it's just so, I don't know, there's something about it that just really makes me happy. Now this camera was able to shoot vertically for portraits and whatnot, but you can also shoot it horizontally, and they actually had mounting points. And I'm pretty sure this is the flash mount. Look at this. This was the flash mount. So that's where you'd actually like plug in the handle for your flash, and you'll take your photos that way. But yeah, I mean that's basically all that's on this camera. There's not a whole lot of information out there. I think it was just kind of a small run But it's endlessly inspiring to me. I find it fascinating. And I can't wait to find other cameras out there that I've never seen before and never heard of and do episodes on them. And if you want to see those episodes, be sure to like and subscribe because I'll be doing these episodes no matter what. And I would love for you to see them and get inspired and fall in love with old antique old antique cameras like I have. Go research old cameras because it's really fun.